What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Reed Lancaster Show. Got my friend Adam Moore here. Adam, appreciate you joining me today. We're going to talk a little NIL and college football, and we're going to see who the top earners are. We're going to see which schools pay the most, and just kind of answer some questions and get into some conversations about that. So, Adam, I know you brought some questions with you, so let's get the ball rolling.
Yeah, my name's Adam, so appreciate you having me on the show, Reed. So,
Yeah.
just start off do you think NIL has made college football or even all college sports better or worse?
So, I hot take on this. I really do think NIL was needed in college football. I'm kind of on Reggie Bush's side that the NCAA is really a pretty bad organization. I will get off in this on a little bit, but I really do think a lot of teams are going to get away from the NCAA. I think once the Big Ten and the SEC break away, it's going to be completely over with. But the NCAA as an organization, I don't like them. I do think the NIL is going to help us transition away from that. So, out of all the flaws right now, I do think that NIL is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just it kind of took off like a wildfire and wasn't regulated in the beginning, and
Yeah.
now I think the cat's out of the bag. But we're trying to go back and you know um, kind of get a little bit more streamlined with the process of how it works. But I think they just got the got the buggy in front of the cart
Yeah.
or the horse. And
That's, I mean, I think that's going to be everybody's take. Is just like, like the players need to earn something. It's just like, do you put a cap on that? But also, can you tell donors like where they can and can't spend their money? And the answer to that is no. Like, you
well,
got multimillionaires.
you have the collective side of things, and then you have the um, independent sponsors and stuff too. So um, I think it's just such a gray area between how much can one school have in their collective. And we got one school that's got 100 times more than a smaller school. Well, how's that going to affect coaching, recruiting,
Yeah.
tradition, um, everything moving forward?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be different because I mean, even gosh, if I was 18 years old and you get offered a good paycheck, I mean, I don't care if I like the school or not. That'd be hard to turn down. So
Absolutely.
I could care less about their tradition at a certain dollar amount. Um, but yeah,
So, what do you think the biggest factor in recruiting with NIL has kind of become? Are you? I mean, I feel like we just hear these kids that like you said, I'm just going to my top school. Like, you paying me X, pay me Y.
yeah. Well, I do think that what has recently been passed, you got a 5 year running clock as soon as you start. That's your eligibility. Um, I think that what you're going to see is yes, there are going to be certain programs, and we're going to go over it. We've got the list pulled up here, who have more money than other schools, but I really think you're going to see almost like the non-power four conferences and some of the G6s. They're going to be almost like minor league baseball. It's going to be Indiana's model of you know, even though it's not Division I football, that's still a step up from high school. And then we're going to recruit from those schools, and like you're going to get rid of high schoolers going straight into your SEC Big Ten schools, or it's going to be very few because what they're doing right now is just going to these schools making money. A lot of them don't play their first year, and then all right, now I'm going to the next school. And why would your big schools pay that money for 1 year and you get no production?
Yep.
Like I would rather take a 20-year-old that's proven rather than an 18-year-old that's played high school ball.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. You're developing under a college program, even if it's JUCO, D2, however that may be. You're still getting exposure, playing against good athletes, and like I said, you're getting the production time versus just going to an SEC school, ride the bench. I think it helps you out in the long run.
yeah, for sure. And well, like off of that, if you come out of high school and you're NIL, let's say you get offered 300,000, you don't really play much, play a few snaps a game. Then year two, all right, we're going to give you 325. Versus if you'd gone to a smaller school, shown out, your 325 may now be like 500. I really think like you getting snaps and playing at other schools is going to be big for you to be able to leverage yourself if you are an athlete.
Yeah, from an NIL deal, I think that helps, but also just from a player development standpoint, like
Yeah,
we're talking about college, but ultimately, I think everybody's goal is to make it to the NFL or the pro um, level, and so if you can, develop yourself, it helps you out financially and just from a talent perspective.
yeah, absolutely. Um, do you want to go ahead and get into the top NIL spenders per team?
Yeah, where are we sitting?
It is. I've got the top 50 here pulled up. Now I'm just gonna guess that this is well, yeah, it is. This is NIL collective, like for all sports. As we know, college football, college basketball, those sports make money. Every other sport loses money. So without those two, I don't think NIL makes sense for anybody. Um, but I'll go through the top 10. Number 10, you've got Florida State. Number 9, Auburn. Number 8, Oklahoma. 7, LSU. 6, surprisingly, Oklahoma State. 5, Georgia. 4, Florida. 3, Texas. 2, Texas A&M. And number 1, and it has quit loading on me.
It's gonna be. Did you say Ohio State already?
It's probably Ohio State, I would guess.
I think it's Ohio State.
Yeah, that's yeah. Of course, this quits. Oh, Oregon. Oregon is number
Oregon's
1.
up there.
So let me look for Ohio State, Alabama. What other big schools? Ohio State's 11, Bama's 12,
Yeah.
Virginia 13, Tennessee 14, Michigan 15. So yeah, it's just it's hard to say like whether or not those schools um, are going to out recruit everybody because it's like I think you can spend $4 million on one guy, but if that takes out a large chunk, I would almost think you go to a model where I'm gonna get 4 or 5 players for $1 million, and then let's say 2 of those develop. You've got 2 of those great players compared to the one. Unless you've got just the anomaly, the guy that's like, if you got a Cam Newton in college, like you pay him
Right.
what he's worth.
Well, how do you feel like, say you do have that one guy, he's your superstar, he's a stud, but he's making, you know, top five in the country NIL money, and then you got everybody else on the team. How do you think the team chemistry is affected by that when you got a guy that is, making more than the whole offensive line put together?
I think that just depends on the type of person. If you've got a guy who's a team player, then it makes sense. He's gonna bring the team together. But if you do have that bad attitude, I don't think I'd even mess around with it.
Yeah.
Like we've got,
Because all these players probably talk about it, and
oh,
they know what's going on behind the scenes. So I feel like the tensions could be raised quickly. Like I said,
yeah,
especially if there's somebody that has a little bit of attitude, a little bit of chip on their shoulder, and then they're trying to brag a little bit about, well, you don't have an NIL deal, and I got 7.
yeah. Well, one thing that I've always thought schools may do this. I don't know. But if they don't have financial advisors like there for all their players, like I wouldn't. There's no way if I was a coach, I would be like, all right, guys, like you need to find you a financial advisor here in the town, like to work with. Like I feel like universities should have that person or 2 or 3 on staff and be like mandatory meetings with these. I know if I had a
Yeah.
kid go in there and it's like, hey, your kid's going to get 1.5 million and we have a financial advisor set up for him or her personally, I'd be like, great. Like that's because you do see a lot of these guys. I'll just use football for example. If they're not playing, let's say they're injured, they're on the sidelines, and I mean they're wearing $40,000, $50,000
Yeah.
of jewelry, and I'm like, that's great. Like I know, like I'm not saying you can't spend money and have fun, but I'm like, my mind goes to where's the rest of their money going to? Are
Yeah.
they
That's just what
actually?
you're seeing.
Yeah, I'm like, are they actually being smart and using the gift they've been given? Like how many 18, 19 year olds you're like, here's $1 million, here's $100,000.
None of them
You know,
probably
yeah,
uh, invest it like they should or could. So
yeah. Well, when we get, are you good? We go into the top NIL earners
yeah,
per player.
let's
So
do that.
okay,
I think I'm an Ole Miss fan. I think Ole Miss's running back is the top running back right now. Lacey.
is he? He may be. I'm
I think
seeing
he had a 7-figure deal.
Really? Okay. I'm on three, so let's this was updated on yesterday on July 3rd. We're shout out America. This is July 4th, so
Yeah.
we're recording here. Thank you England for the holiday. We appreciate you. But yes, so yesterday updated. You've got Arch Manning number one, Jeremiah Smith number two, Sam Levitt number three, Bryce Underwood four, Dante Moore five. I'm gonna go out there. Sam Levitt at number three. I don't understand.
No.
Like I'm going to, um, as you talk about it, I'm gonna pull up his stats from last year and be like, I don't get the hype around him just because I mean Lane Kiffin's a good coach, but like I don't know what you base that off of. That's my opinion, but
Well, like I said, coming from Ole Miss, Lane he's done some work in the offseason trying to recruit. So we'll see if he can make LSU's chemistry come together this year because there's going to be a lot of new faces and um, I mean I think it's LSU, they're going to have talent.
yeah,
But if we can get those kids to play together and get everybody jumping on board, which seems like LSU fans have jumped on the updated Lane train.
yeah. Well, Sam Levitt right here, 2025 stats. And now he, did play the full year, but 1,628 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a QBR of 65.8. If I'm an LSU fan, I'm like, I mean, like maybe it works out, maybe he's good, but I'm like, I'm not ringing the Heisman bell or anything for him.
You look at even like Arch Manning's numbers. Everybody like hates on Arch Manning. Like I don't really carry the way, but like he put up decent numbers last year. Like,
yeah.
So I mean, I think people just thought he was going to come in and be a Heisman runaway. But like give the kid a little bit of grace,
Yeah.
I think he worked hard. He had some big games, some good games.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are saying he's a bust, and then you got 1,600 yards on the season, and
yeah,
he's the hot topic.
Yeah, just because Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
I know because I'm an Auburn guy. Somebody said, "What if Byron Brown transferred to LSU instead of Auburn?" Everybody's going crazy because he was 3,000-yard passer, 1,000-yard rusher, and now he's with Lane Kiffin. And I'm like, I'm sitting here not as an Auburn fan, like I hope Byron Brown does good, but I'm also not ringing the Heisman bell for him either.
Yep.
It's like you did that at South Florida, which is great. Like not many people have done that, but I feel like just because it's Lane Kiffin, people are like, putting all his players on a pedestal, and it's like people forget the Tennessee years, the USC years of Lane Kiffin, the Raiders. Like, come on, I mean Lane Kiffin. You go to Alabama, all right. I could have coached Alabama in the 2010s if Nick Saban was head coach. I could have called plays for them, and I feel like Ole Miss, he did turn Ole Miss around. I mean, that was not turn them around, but you had several 10-win seasons there in a row. So
yeah, and like I said, we had Freeze where it dropped off, and Freeze kind of had it together at Ole Miss, and then like I said, we took a little bit of a dip, and then Lane kind of come and revive the program. So see if he can do that at LSU.
Yeah,
we'll see.
And that's
kind of getting back to the NIL though. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in Lane's contract he had a like NIL amount requirement when he went to LSU.
Really?
Do you think that's going to be moving forward as coaches in the coaching carousel start spinning around? You think that's going to be a requirement when coaches take jobs that, hey, this is my salary, but I need to have a minimum amount of NIL money associated with my tender here?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. A lot of schools have hired general managers to kind of facilitate all that. It's going to be, a lot of it will be whether the boosters support the coach that got hired. So to me, I'm like, does the athletic director make all those decisions, or you've got your top 10 boosters? They're like, hey, this guy wants this, but we're not going to give you that money if you hire this guy over here.
Yeah, especially coming from an Auburn fan, I feel like that's probably one of the worst schools about that.
Thanks, Jimmy. Keep giving us money because we need it. But, Apple, let's just get an Apple patch on the jersey this year for Auburn, and I think we'll be a lot better. But, but yeah, to answer that even more, I'm just kind of like, NIL for coaches, are they going to have to take less money? Or like the buyouts now that the coaches are getting is ridiculous.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like,
I don't know how that gets signed off on. There's no other profession that you you get that kind of money to do bad at your job.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, no other job in the world you get fired and then get a huge paycheck
No.
to leave. So if you're a college football coach, congrats to you because maybe we should have done
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say they know something we don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, what you got next?
Kids coming from high school. I feel like it was at one time like everybody's dream to get to the pro level.
Mhm.
Now, like you said, there's so much financial incentive to play in college and get these NIL deals. Do you think that has almost hurt more kids though? Of like, hey, I'm not going to go to school to be an engineer, uh, doctor, lawyer, firefighter, whatever. I'm just going to go when I get to college and I'll make all this money
Yeah.
with all my NIL deals.
Um, yeah, I think it opens up. I know Auburn's got an entrepreneur bachelor's that you can get, but I think that depends on each person. Um, just hopefully they've got the right people at home. If not at home, the coaches will help guide them in the direction of, you know, if you earn a couple million throughout your college career, there's no reason why you should work a 9 to 5 for somebody else.
Yeah.
You should start your own businesses. So I just hope that they have enough influences around them.
To have a backup plan.
Yeah, like for sure. Because I mean, don't blow that money on cars, houses. I mean, just be smart with it. But they definitely have enough to pave their own way in life going forward. So like if I'm a high school kid, I'm like I'm taking the money, but I'm also going to have a degree in something that if you want to be an engineer, I mean, start your own business with that. Become a contractor. Around
Yeah.
where we live, a lot of people do that. So there's lots of different options for that.
And then kind of going off that, these kids that maybe they don't get um, recruited to a big SEC school, something like that. Um, how do you think that some of these smaller schools can maybe they don't have the money?
Yeah.
How can they do what they can to maximize the talent and recruiting? Um, like I said, without the as much collective money NIL
Yeah.
options out there.
If I'm a coach, let's say at a G6 like a Memphis, we'll go with them. Um, I'm going after kids that don't have the big SEC Big Ten offers, and I'm pitching to them show out for 1 year. Come here, you're gonna play, show out 1 year, and then get your offer. And if I'm a coach there, I try to make relationships with all the upper tier coaches in the Big Ten, SEC, and say, hey, like I want to be a funnel for your program. I mean, I really think if you establish those relationships, then that's going to help you recruit from the high school level to your program. Unfortunately, you're just going to be recruiting a lot more because you're going to have to refill your roster every year. But
a lot of turnover.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do. If they're not getting a big time offer, you're like, hey, sacrifice that 50,000 that they're going to offer you. Come here, get everything paid for, and then show out, and then let's bump you up after that. So
yeah. As far as kind of NIL as a whole, if you could change one thing about it, what would you change about
it? I think that the NIL collectives are probably an issue. Again, I hope college football, I hope schools just break off from the NCAA. But I think the best thing they can do right now until that happens is put a cap on each player, whether you make that money straight through the NIL collective or if the local car dealership wants you to do a commercial.
Right.
You can make that cap whatever you want to, 5 million, but that would be how you level the playing field. But like, yeah, the way it was started out was just, all right, these kids can go sign a jersey, make money, and then now that's turned into, how much money can we raise from boosters, and then all of a sudden we're going to pay you to do this, and here's your check.
Yeah.
Don't worry about coming by and doing this commercial for us because that was just a cover up.
Right.
So I would say like each player gets a maximum this amount of money no matter what, while the NCAA is still in charge.
True.
But,
yeah. Okay. What about some of the schools that got in trouble before NIL? You think, like was it Reggie Bush Heisman? Like,
yeah,
you think all those scenarios should be kind of forgiven?
Yeah. I mean, I think at this point you're just like move on. It's too much work to dig into all that, and there's no point in bringing all that back up.
Yeah,
You gave Reggie his Heisman back. You just you move forward. I don't think you reopen that can of worms. But
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it's one of those things like everybody knows that players are getting paid
Yeah.
even before NIL.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you still have your top programs with the top donors paying the top athletes. Um,
Well, do you remember Shane Gillis brought that up to Nick Saban, and then he got
yeah,
chewed out after?
yeah, yeah. So I'm like, you
uh,
can't tell me that Nick didn't turn a blind eye to a little bit of
oh yeah.
a little bit of brown bags of money here and there. And,
Uh,
you know, you got 18, 19-year-olds driving around in
yeah.
Dodge Chargers and Camaros and Escalades. Like, come on
Yeah.
now. Like, we see the writing on the wall.
Growing up in Gordo, when we would go to Tuscaloosa, because you had to do, Walmart is in Tuscaloosa. You see Dre Kirkpatrick driving around a Charger, and it's got Kirkpatrick 21 on the side,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, like got a little customized paint job there, but
Oh, yeah.
that and when Tennessee got caught with the was it McDonald's bags
Yeah.
that they were giving, like, here's you a double cheeseburger,
Yeah.
and here's $25,000 in this bag, don't lose it. Yeah, I mean, like, it was going on everywhere. Shout out to David Housel, who's actually from Gordo. He was athletic director from Auburn for a while, but I never heard him say this. But there was it's happening even back then. It was like you see kids show up on campus with nothing, and then all of a sudden they leave, and you're like, how do we stop some random guy from a town they live in saying, hey, if you go play school or play ball at this school, my alma mater, then I'll give you this. And the coaches in the school have nothing to do
Yeah,
with it.
I think there's times that it could be completely unknown by the school and staff.
So I think that definitely went on.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're a local business owner, you're making a lot of money, and you care about your university, like there's no way you cut any of that out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like the biggest the negative of NIL is that it just takes away from your college education and your value. Like, kids aren't going to college to get the degree anymore.
Yeah.
They're sports wise, they're going as a stepping stone. They're going to get paid and as a stepping stone to the professional level.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like even in football, we need like a G League. You know, where if you're doing this, if the path you want to take is sports and not education, then pursue it full time.
Yeah.
In this, minor league type scenario. And I mean, all these kids, like, even if they're not getting paid on NIL, I mean, college education is, six figures right now.
Yeah.
To come out of school not having to pay student loans nowadays, like, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
And that's just getting taken for granted.
Yeah. Well, that's why I really do think you got a couple things to figure out with the NCAA, but I think colleges will be that G League, which they basically are now.
Yeah.
But like once you get the NCAA out of the picture, I think the only thing that needs to happen is they're because the coaches met about that, and Kirby Smart talked about it. I think the biggest thing holding them back is the college basketball tournament, March Madness, because once you pull like hey, Duke and North Carolina, you're going to join the SEC. Kansas, some of the bigger basketball schools, they join the Big Ten. Then the Big Ten and SEC are going to be like, why in the world are we listening to the NCAA? Which, I mean, they're really not even listening to them now. Like, once you take that away and then they don't have a governing body, I really do. It's going to be like MLB baseball. You're going to have the Yankees that have the high payroll, and you're going to have the Pirates who aren't going to put a bunch of money in their roster. And that's just going to be the way it is. But then it'll be up to schools just to go after those boosters that are going to give them the most.
True. True.
I don't like the NCAA, if y'all haven't been able to tell from now.
So what do you think this is going to look like in 5-10 years? Realistically versus
NIL as a whole.
Yeah. College sports.
College sports. You're gonna have everybody's putting so much money in their venues now. I think stadiums are gonna get. I'm gonna say this: the bigger schools that have big stadiums, I think you're going to have a lot of change in those. I've always said, like, if you're a Vanderbilt and you're playing the SEC, one way you recruit is like, I know they've just done some stadium renovations, but I bring the size down. I might make a dome, like make the environment something cool, and spend your money elsewhere, trying to get players. But I think NIL is going to affect, um, as far as like different facilities around campus, or players are going to give money back to the school that they came from, which probably not at 20
Yeah.
years old. Um, but I think more and more money is going to get pulled into it. But then you're talking about TV deals affecting that. Like, I mean, that's where a lot of the money comes from. People don't understand. It's
Oh yeah.
just ESPN, Disney owning all of that, ABC. Like, that's where the money is. Ticket sales, stuff like that. I don't exactly know where that goes, but like that's probably 5% of
Oh
where the money comes from.
yeah. I mean, they're only selling so many drinks and hot dogs
Yeah,
at
for
7 home games.
$20 a year or $20 a hot dog, but
Yeah, they definitely got you in that stadium
yeah.
when you're there. Kind of closing out. Who do you think benefits the most from NIL? Do you think it is these the players, or do you think you know that could potentially hurt them in the long run? With, like you said, if they don't have the financial literacy, then they don't make it to the NFL to extend their career, um,
Um,
or the programs.
I think the players benefit the most, obviously. Who it benefits the players, I do think it hurts the fans. I'll just be honest. We went to the Auburn Kentucky game last year and spent money on tickets, travel, hotels, and then you go down there. They put out a terrible product, which you're going to win games, lose games, but when you do that and then you have so many people leave, it's like the average fan who spends a lot of money to go and watch a game, and then you have players who, I'm just here to get my money, I'm gonna leave, don't care about the
Yeah,
school. Like, that's, I think it hurts the fans. It's a big bonus for the players. Um, but yeah, just hope that they use the money right. So
yeah. Well, Reed, I appreciate you having me on
yeah, appreciate you
today.
joining. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some more of these. NIL is a very interesting topic that we've not covered yet. So, which I think this is like the fifth episode.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
but
Well,
yeah,
y'all make sure to type any questions in that y'all might want answered, and we'll try to maybe have another episode on this.
yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you joining. Appreciate you guys listening. We'll see you next time.